Well, thank you. That was a great introduction. You made me sound very good. In fact,
Did you write that?
I did. Well, I wrote that, yeah. Give me another round of applause. One more for me. Hey? Oh, yeah, we're going to have fun today. Because the topic of the conversation today is me. And that's good news for you because I am perfect. I've got it all figured out. Maybe I'm not perfect, but I'm better than most people in this room, that's for sure. I'm better than most people that I run into on a day-to-day basis. I've got it all figured out. In fact, if I were to prove to you that I was perfect in 2023, how would I do that? Social media. This is a quick glimpse of what my social media profile looks like. So top left, what I got there, I've got some friends. That's me and some friends and my beautiful wife eating Italian by night. So that's good. Next to that, I've got a picture of my family. So I've got a beautiful wife, amazing wife, and two amazing kids that let me sleep in sometimes. Some people will even call that a $1 million family. Next to that is a picture of me. It's kind of hard to see, but it's a picture of me and my wife on stage. We were presenting at the largest single-day youth event in Canada a couple months ago, and the picture is really cool because it's my daughter looking on as we're presenting. So I've got adoration. People want to be me and listen to me. I mean, you're here, aren't you? You paid to hear me, so I must be doing something right. We travel. So there's a picture of, again, my family, and this is Disneyland. And I know the difference between Disneyland and Disney World because I've been to both. In fact, I'm going back to Disney World in about 3 weeks. So we travel a lot. People kind of want that, don't they? The community. There's me and my hockey team making more friends and more memories. I'm not sitting around doing nothing. I'm having fun. I'm out there doing what I want to do in the community. And career. So as was already mentioned, I work at ICS Creative Agency. My title is Director of Strategy and Business Development. That sounds pretty accomplished. I have a job that I actually love to do. I've got a job that I dreamed about doing since the day I entered college. I've literally got it all figured out. I've done everything. So again, you're welcome. You keep listening to me today, you will learn how to be perfect as well. But there's a problem with this, isn't there? In fact, just pretending up here to be perfect has been exhausting. This is what we see on social media, isn't it? We see this perfect life that people have, and it's completely polished, and everything looks really great, but it's just a glimpse of who they really are. In fact, on social media, we see this really polished version of someone's life, the amazing things, the great things, the accomplishments, the fun, the trips, all the really great things are on social media, but someone's full life is not. The shameful things, the hurtful things, the pain, just the real things, right? That doesn't make social media. So today, the title of my talk is Be Fulfilled. Embrace life from real to real. So as was previously mentioned, I do work at a marketing agency. So I have my marketing hat on. I'm going to be sharing some things about marketing today. And I'm going to tie that with the other side of my life, which is my company, Love Over It, which sells shirts like this and shirts in the back, where I'm on a mission to promote the life-saving power of love to people. I'm going to marry both of those concepts to bring to you how to live life from real to real. So let's start this over. Oh, first, let's talk about this actually first. This is really important. If you've seen the trailer for this movie, Suicide Squad, you would have left seeing that being like, oh, this is awesome. This is going to be the best movie ever. There's action. There's probably romance. There's Will Smith before he slapped Chris Rock. There's Margot Robbie. There's all this stuff that's just awesome. I can't wait to see this movie. In fact, it's coming out during the era of Marvel when they're just running all the box offices. So you want to see this movie, it's going to be the best movie ever. But then you go and see the movie and it's and that was garbage. That movie actually sucked. I'm still so mad about how bad this movie was. And I'm not alone in that because that's the Rotten Tomatoes score. 26% is god awful. I'm sharing this because this is a marketing term represents this. Selective representation. Selective representation. And what that means is we can only show so much of something, right? Like you can't, if I want to get someone introduced to a movie or get them to understand what a movie's going to be, I can't show the whole movie, so I can only show a trailer of it. What has to happen, though, is that trailer has to match the movie, or else you got this massive disconnect. And this is a good picture of what happens in our lives as well, is that what we're taking is we're massaging it to a very bad degree, everything that happens in our lives, shaping it up to this trailer we put on social media to say, my life is the best movie. My life is worth seeing. Then you get to the theater, and it's like, well, this is kind of crappy. So the goal is, obviously, to have the trailer match the movie. You want to have your Instagram reel, Facebook Reels, match your true life. So we will start over. We're going to take a look at my life. We are actually going to do that. And I'm going to give you a look at what my Instagram reel would look like if you saw all the real things that I've been through and that I've gone through. First thing you would see if you were on my Instagram reel and I would just peel back. The real thing you would see is periods of depression and anxiety and just mind-numbing panic attacks, like periods of my life where my mind has been completely on autopilot, I have zero control, and I think the whole world's attacking me. If you saw the real version of my life, you'd see periods where I was extremely unkind to people, like shamefully unkind to people. I chose this picture on purpose because this is a man laying next to a woman and he's on his phone, not giving her his best, is he? That's something that I used to do. I used to be in a relationship here, but also in relationships over there. I was completely selfish, doing exactly what I wanted at any time. If you saw the real me, you'd see a period in my life where anger was my drug. Like anger, I always describe the way I experienced anger like it was like an addiction. Because if I was in a fight with you, in fact, most of the fighting I did back then was with the person I was dating. If I was in a fight with someone I was dating, it wasn't just like a quick spat. It was, I couldn't stop yelling at that person until someone was crying. In fact, I uncovered that with my therapist. She said, well, when does the argument start or end? And I said, well, usually she's crying. And not just, being in relationships. This would follow me everywhere. I'd be angry and rage would just control my life completely. How about substance abuse and alcohol abuse? There's a period in my life where I couldn't go a week without getting blackout drunk. That's just the culture we live in. But also using substances. So cocaine's on the screen for a reason because that was the drug of choice at the time. You can see that on my Instagram reel. Yeah. How about breaking the law? I've definitely got behind the wheel after having too many drinks. And I'm disgusted with myself for the things that I've done in my past. There's the difference between some criminals and myself sometimes I think about is the fact that they got caught. And I'm sharing all this because these are the real things that I've been through and I've done, and no one's perfect, and we're human, and as disgusting and shameful as they are, it's hard for me to even look at the slide right now, but that's just the reality of my life. I am happy to share that anxiety doesn't ruin my life anymore. I'm a faithful husband. My God, I'm faithful, and I love my wife to death. She's gracing us with her presence in the back. I went to anger management 14 years ago, and I don't know the last time it was that I raised my voice. As of next month, November. As of next month, I'll be 4 years sober. And the last time I broke the law was probably when I sped up Godola Point or something like that. I don't know. So I've done a lot of stupid things and crappy things, and man, I sucked at times, But I had to stare at those things and I had to overcome them, or else they would really have a hold on me today. But sometimes it's not that we do things to ourselves. Sometimes things happen to us, don't they? Sometimes there are things that we didn't really plan on happening, or account for, or have a strategy for. So back in 2021, at the time, my father, who's also blessing us with his presence today, my father lived in Alberta with my younger brother and my sister and their kids and their family, and some of us lived back here. One day, it was a random Wednesday, my phone rings, I'm getting ready for a meeting, it's Dad who's calling me, pick up the phone, I'm like, hey Dad, what's going on? And he's like, Andrew, your sister was in an accident. And before he got a chance to continue on with the accident and what had actually happened, my initial thought was it was my sister that lived in Alberta with them, because at the time in Alberta, when they were living there, my sister there, she was an addict. She was living on the streets as far as we know. We didn't know what she was doing. So at any day, I thought I was going to get the call that we lost her. But he continued on, and he shared that it wasn't that sister that had been in the accident. It was my other sister, the sister that lived in New Brunswick. She lived in Moncton, actually. She had three beautiful children, and she lived there. And he said it was a really bad accident and that they were basically planning to come home. Fast forward 24 and a bit hours, and my father, my stepmother, and my brother finally arriving in New Brunswick, which was hell on its own because in 2021 it was COVID, so traveling anywhere was a nightmare. So not only dealing with the fact that we don't know what's going on with my sister because she's still in the hospital, the authorities are actually telling us that we can't see my family that has just arrived in Alberta. Literally their plan was that my brother and my sister, or my brother and my stepmom and my dad were going to be in this room, and we're just going to see them through a wall, and it's we're trying to grieve. So we didn't, again, I broke the law there, forgive me, but we ended up seeing them. The next day, so this is 2 days after the phone call now, we all gathered in the room of where my sister was, and we said goodbye, and my sister passed away. Also, that day was May 29th, which happened to be my father's 50th birthday. So we're in the room, and just feeling a weight I've never felt before. I never felt a weight like that. I hadn't lost really anybody at that point. Some grandparents, the older grandparents through natural process, but nothing like this. This was brand new. So Dad, my stepmom, my brother TJ, my sister's name was Keisha, by the way. My brother TJ, they stick around New Brunswick for a little bit longer, and then they make their way home. We have to continue on with life. This can't be where we end. Life just has to continue on. So they go back to New Brunswick, and they're kind of figuring their things out. Fast forward 2 months-ish, and it's a Monday night of a long weekend, and my phone rings, and it's Dad again, and I'm PTSD. I'm what is going on? I can't, Dad, stop calling me. Holy rag. So I answer the phone, and my dad says, Andrew, I don't know what's going on, but your brother was just in a car accident, and we lost him. So in a period of 2 months in 2 different provinces, my family lost my brother and my sister to 2 tragic, very freak accidents. That's what you would see if you looked at my Instagram reel and it was real. You'd see all these things. And Not to talk about the hell that goes on with trying to deal with any of them, but let alone losses. And, I put these couple words up here too because life is a series of things that happen to us or that we do. And the whole point is to look at those things and stare into the abyss, the things that have happened to us, and not let them just take us hostage. And there can be less disastrous things like your financial situation or the way you speak to your kids or your wife or the status of your health or whatever. There's things that we all avoid that we don't ever get control back over. We don't stare at those things and say, okay, I need to deal with this. In the Christian faith, Jesus once shared, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted." And I read this when I was mourning. I said, this is ridiculous. Why would he say that? You're telling me that I'm mourning right now, the loss of my brother and my sister, and you're telling me I'm supposed to be blessed right now? That's absolutely ridiculous. So I sat with that. I read it over and over. I said, this must mean something. Blessed are those who mourn. Mourn. So then I realized mourning is a choice. I can choose to mourn, or I could have chosen to avoid, right? I can completely avoid the situation. I can completely numb myself. I can completely black out all the time. I can completely run the other way. I can get angry all the time. I can blame whoever I want to, or I could mourn. I could sit with it, go through the process, breathe through it, be surrounded by loving friends, and my God, I've been surrounded by loved friends, and mourn properly. I had to stare at it. I had to sit with it and not dismiss it. Because if we promote our real and say, oh, that's what we do, don't we? Like, we put all of our energy into saying, well, what I put on my Instagram is real life, right? Like, this new car is great, and I got that. Like, that's as if like whatever on Instagram is the great, this perfect world. And then what we try to do is we try to live up to that because we've now said we're perfect, now we gotta be perfect, and then it's this whole cycle. And then we look at other people's reel and we're like, well, their reel looks awesome. I want their reel. And we really like diminish the stuff that happens to us. And it's like, well, when we do that, we're out of balance, really. And what happens is all these things like isolation, drugs. That's what drug response really is, right? It's trying not to deal with reality. So you're numbing yourself. Shame, anxiety, guilt, numb, loss of purpose, anger, depression. I mean, when the scales are tipped in the wrong way, you're in trouble. I like this quote I read. I like this. A person's ability to be fulfilled and grow is directly related to the amount of truth they can accept about themselves. The amount of truth they can accept about themselves. So you have to ask yourself, are you willing to accept the truth about yourself? Are you willing to go there and say, this happened to me, I did this, and absolutely stare at that? Because if you don't, what happens is, man, you're going to be messed up. But you can't have, like, people will look at my life, for example, like the first slides I shared, and be like, oh, I wish I had his job, or I wish I had the Disney trips, or all these things. But you can't have the trips to Disney in my life without the siblings passing, right? You can't just cherry pick the best days of my life and be like, oh, that's going to be a great life. You have to take the good with the bad. So if you want the Disney trips, you want the job, you want all the things that I'm very, very proud of, you need the down things too. You have to, and that's the same for everybody. Like even if you turn on TV tonight and you see these mega stars, whoever, Ryan Reynolds or maybe not Will Smith, but anybody, right? They have days that you don't want, I promise you. So your best life, the most inspired life you're ever going to live is your life, is when you reflect back on what you've done and what you've got over. It's not everybody else's. You know, I had to face those things. If I didn't, think about this for a second. If I didn't face the anger challenges that I had, I can guarantee you with a very certain precision that I would not have the loving relationship with my wife I have today. More so, my kids would bear the brunt of that. Or if I never got over the drugs and alcohol thing, you think I'd be going to Disney every 2 years? Probably not. Or if I didn't step into the situation with my siblings and accept it for what it was, I wouldn't be here telling you guys and helping you to go come through your things. So it's all for a purpose. And it's like, I'm just going to go back a second. This list, summarize that. What is this? This is hell. This is literal hell. If you live with these things, you're just holding back a really good life because you're sitting yourself in absolute hell. So face it, I like to say, whenever you go through something, there's something attached to that. There's a lesson to be learned there, or something you can hold on to. But the moment you decide that you don't want to grab onto the thing that's happened or stare into the abyss of what just happened to you, you actually forfeit the right you have to gain the wisdom and the gift that came out of it. Right? If you don't look at what happened to you, if you don't stare into it and say, holy shit, I just went through that. You're just robbing yourself of the gift on the other side. You have to look at all the things. And if you do that, if you stare at the things you've been through, you will be fulfilled. And you'll have freedom. Oh, you'll have freedom. My God, you'll have freedom. You'll have freedom from judgment. Right? Like, I don't care what you guys think of me, clearly. Right? I'm walking around fairly free right now because I don't feel judged, because everything I have is out in the open. It doesn't matter anymore. So I'm not judging myself, and I sure as hell don't care if you judge me. You'll have peace, you'll have genuine relationships, you'll have improved mental health, clearer values, better alignment with those values, stronger boundaries, better decision making, more love. Like, what does that list sound like? That sounds like a good life, doesn't it? That sounds like a life worth living. And I'm telling you right now, you face those things, all those are yours. All those things are yours. And what's interesting is, oh my God, the things I said I could be, right? More love, more freedom, more joy, more peace. What's funny is, everyone wants that from me anyway. My wife sure as heck wants that from me. My wife doesn't want me to be an angry, drug-using idiot. She wants me to be happy and healthy and free. The people I lead at work definitely want the real me. And my kids want the real me. I'm not sharing this slide deck with them. Maybe they will. I will when they get older. I definitely will when they get older. But my God, my kids want the real me in the day-to-day. Every single day I show up, they want the real me. A peaceful, joyful, happy, present, sober, loving, kind, gentle, patient, all those things. My kids crave that in me. And maybe you're thinking, well, you know what? That's great, Andrew. I'm already authentic. And I already do these things. And if you do, all I would say, and I would encourage you to keep doing it. Keep being authentic. Keep being your true self, because you're inspiring those around you to do it. And that's where real life is found. One thing you may be thinking of right now while you're sitting there is your mind is actually going to be saying, like, probably judging me a little bit. You're probably saying, oh, he does have a good life, or he's so brave. Or maybe thinking, that guy's an idiot. Look at all the stupid things he did. Or maybe thinking, I feel really bad for him. Like, look what he's been through. Your mind is telling you to think those things. If you're thinking those things, that is fine, but you're missing the point. I'm not the point. You are. You need to all look at yourselves. Everybody needs to look within and say, where am I at? If you're looking at exterior, engaging against everyone else, you're wasting your time. Look within. Where are you at? Where do you need to be corrected? G.K. Chesterton, he's a famous Christian thinker. He was once asked, what is the problem with the world? What is the problem with the world? To which he famously replied, I am. What if we all had that position and that posture? I'm the problem. I've got things to fix. It's not everybody else that has to be changed to better me and make me feel comfortable. It's I will change inside of me and I will improve what's inside of me because I'm what's wrong with the world. All right, so if you do that, if you face your real, you will be fulfilled, I promise you. So in closing, I have 4 things I want to mention. First, I just mentioned it, forget. Forget their real. For the love of God, please, if you leave here, don't remember the things that I did. Remember what I said and say, focus on your real. Focus on the things inside of you. What do you have to bring to the surface that you need to deal with? I'm going to skip talk. I'm going to move to forgive. Forgive. There's another marketing term for you, buyer's remorse or cognitive dissonance. So what cognitive dissonance is, real quickly, is it's when your actions don't match your thinking, right? Very easy example. If I asked everybody here how they want, if I said, what's the steps to get healthy? You'd say, work out, hire the girl that was up here earlier, and eat better. You would say that. Everybody knows what it takes to live healthy, but we all struggle. Why? There's a dissonance. There's a disconnect in our mind between how we act and how we think. There's a difference between how we act and how we think. And it's that basic understanding that people are out there doing things that you think I didn't know that drugs were bad? Whether I was breaking the law or I was cheating, whatever. I knew these things were happening, but I justified it in my mind. The same thing we do when we get a cheeseburger. But it's that understanding that people are broken in their minds. We don't act the way we want to all the time. And based on that, you may forgive yourself, and you may forgive others. And you need to do that. Until you can release what's happened to you or what you've done, you will not move forward. And forgiveness doesn't mean that it's like, oh, it's okay what you did. Like, I'm cool with how you treated me and what you did to me. No, it's just saying I can't change it. I understand what happened, and I'm not going to let it hold me back. I'm going to move forward. Next thing, I'm going to move back up number 2, talk. You need to speak it into existence. You need to talk about it. First, you need to talk about it with yourself. Second, you're going to bring it to a spouse or a trusted loved one or a therapist, right? Then from there, you can speak next year at Terry Ann's B event. We're going to do a quick exercise. This is going to take 30 seconds. I'm going to ask for 30 seconds of silence, and what you're going to do is you're going to think about what you've been through and something that you need freedom from. Something you need freedom from, it's going to come to your mind. You don't need to share it. You don't need to write it down. You just think about it, and then let that, you'll go from there. So I'll just take 30 seconds of silence. All right. I don't think that was 30 seconds, so you'll have to forgive me, but and if you didn't think of anything, then you're probably perfect, and come see me afterwards. I want you to raise my kids because I want my kids to be raised by someone perfect. But no, you will think of something. If it wasn't something just now, on the way home, think of it, and then don't let that go. Stick with that, and again, bring it to somebody that you can trust, and they'll help you through that. And the very last thing is love. Love is patient, and love is kind. And you need to do all things in love. So as you go through this process of understanding yourself, be kind with yourself and be patient, okay? And remember that as you go and bring things out that need to be brought to light so you can have that true life, when you start bringing to people that love you, if they love you, if they truly do love you, they will accept you. They will absolutely accept you for the crappy things you've done or the hurtful things you've endured. So I promise you, if you do these things, you will absolutely have a life worth embracing by living life from real to real.